Black History Month starts now. Charles Kwako, the Chief Executive for the Caribbean African Health Network, expecting a brilliant night of speeches, performance, but then also hearing from the mayor of our city region about the importance of celebrating Black History Month.
I'm looking forward to the civil authorities getting involved with it, learning about it, and also the multicultural team here who are displaying their wares. So I'm looking to network with others as well.
My favourite thing about Black History Month is learning about my culture.
My favourite thing is spreading awareness, because not many people know about the stuff people of colour had to go through to survive.
My favourite thing about Black History Month is probably how we all come together as a community and learn about each other.
To say it's also culture, because hanging out with them has taught me a lot of stuff, especially with food. I tried a lot of different foods and I actually enjoyed it.
Black History Month is simply an opportunity to review, reflect and rededicate our efforts at a time where racial diversity is still very much a challenge. Not only here in Britain, but in the world. But for now, in this country, with the recent climate and challenges we faced, I think this year's Black History Month has never been more important. But for me, it's taking the past into the present that represents the future.
So this is an event to honour the contributions of our communities to British society. It's a time to reflect on our journeys towards racial equality.
I know that everyone here this evening will take every opportunity to ensure that the history of black communities is told by the people who own that story and that history, and will have control of how those stories are told, with respect, dignity and accuracy.
And Black History Month, as you know, it's around about 100 years since we've all been celebrating it across the world, started in America. But in Greater Manchester, as well as looking back at some notable black people, we've here in Manchester from the university had the very first black person to win a Nobel Prize. We had UK's first black barrister, whose chambers were at Great John Street, and many other people in the past. And of course, that history, the definition of history is the past.
Well, I'd like it to be celebrated according to what the theme is this year. And the theme this year is reclaiming narratives. So I think one of the things we have to do is celebrate the narratives, talk about the narratives, and celebrate those and put those up front. And the way we do that is by us telling our stories and performing our performances, doing our dances, and really letting people know what Black history is all about. And when we say Black history, we're talking African, Caribbean, and those in between.
My theme during my year as High Sheriff was one of diversity and integration, so I really resonated with the work that they were doing and understanding the inequalities that black people, Caribbean and African people were facing in the health system, in mental health as well, was actually, well, it was an eye-opener for me, and I was very keen to work with Faye and Charles to try and support them in the work they were doing.
Far too long, stories of black and global majority heritage people have been told so often from a place of discrimination and exclusion.
But I want to move towards the future now. And one thing I would like to do in terms of the opportunity in front of us is make sure that black history is fully in the school secondary curriculum in this country. Fully. Because it's great, isn't it, to have an event like this where we do remember, we praise what Geoff did here, what we think about what Len Johnson did. Eamon mentioned the Nobel Prize winner from this city. We think of all of those people, Arimba, and all of the things that she did to change lives in this city. The sadness is, though, sometimes that those stories are getting told not as a matter of course to everybody, but because we have to fight to have them told. And this is what we've got to change. And I believe Greater Manchester needs to make a commitment to send in a city region, a whole city region submission to that curriculum review.
I didn't know about sickle cell. I had to be educated. But 4 years on, we have the most incredible service now where we can help people. We not only serve Manchester, but we serve the North West. And if that story had never been told, I wouldn't have understood it.
So, I was asked to talk about my story of being the first black Assistant Vice-Chancellor at the University of Bolton, also the first black female.
I'm Andy Burnham, Mayor of Greater Manchester, and amazing to be here at the civic launch of Black History Month 2024 at the wonderful Manchester Cathedral. I thought this was the best civic launch of Black History Month yet. We decided to make it a civic event at the Cathedral a few years ago, and it's really grown now into something amazing. Everyone is here, all walks of life from Greater Manchester. We've lifted Black History Month in the minds of people across Greater Manchester, and we're only going to keep building it from here.